Hello friends, my name is Muditha Pelpola and I'm working as a business intelligence consultant for past 7 years. I'm working with Microsoft BI stack like SQL Server, integration and analysis services. I'm also familiar with Microsoft Cloud Platform for BI solutions like Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Data Warehouse and the database. And also I'm working on data science and machine learning. Today I am going to share my experience, especially about machine learning model with Python. There I am going to show you how to implement a machine learning model, simple machine learning model on Power BI using Python. For that, today I selected this topic, prediction. Once we see this term or once we hear about this term, what's the first thing that come into my mind? Once we talk about prediction, it always focused on future, right? It's always pointed to future. Normally we are doing prediction to get day-to-day life decisions. Like if you want to buy something, we always focus on price. We are predicting price. Now to do that prediction, we have to depend on our experience or we have to get other information from market. For example, if you want to buy a house, we have to consider on house type, house location, house room size, etc. For example, that let's say the location is a city or something good location, the definitely house price will go up, right? Now in that case, in that scenario, we can identify that to do the prediction, we have to depend on some other facts. In previous example, we have to depend on the location, room size, like that way. Now, in our problem is how to implement this process, prediction process, using Python. Simply, we can call how to implement the machine learning model using Python. To explain that one, how to implement that one, today I selected this scenario, marketing versus sales. Once you heard about this one, once we actually be familiar with this, we know that if we can do a good marketing, definitely sales growth, we can have a good sales growth, right? Now, but it's depend. Now for example, let's take if we do a good marketing process or marketing thing, advertisement, television advertisement or something in off season period, we can get a sales growth, but it's not a good sales growth. But if we do a good marketing thing in seasonal time, definitely it will we will able to get good sales growth, like that way. Now we are doing that in that scenario, we are doing it using our intelligence. But in that case, how to implement this using Python? That's a problem. Normally companies allocated budget for marketing, but middle of the financial year, if you identify that we can do more to increase our sales, but we don't know how much to allocate to the budget or increase the uh, marketing budget, to do that we can get help from machine learning. Now to do it, there are mathematical algorithms to do the prediction. Now there are a lot of algorithms to do this, but today I chose linear regression method to implement simple prediction model on Power BI. Okay, let's talk about what is linear regression. Okay, a linear regression is the simple machine learning model for regression problem. Okay, let's go for definition. Now this is a simple definition about linear regression. Now if I summarize this one, we can identify that there are two variables. One is predictive variable and other one is dependent variable. If we take our scenario, now we are going to do the sales prediction, right? Now if you want to get a good sales growth or if you want to increase sales, we have to depend on marketing expenses. If we increase marketing expenses, we can have a good sales growth. if we go to this chart, now you can see there are plots and also line. Now if we put marketing expenses into this and also sales into this line, if we increase marketing expenses, we can have a good sales growth. But to get that information, get that prediction, that we need to ensure that there are positive relationship between sales and marketing expenses. Drawing this kind of scatter plot, actually this is a scatter plot graph. Drawing this kind of scatter plot graph, you can identify if there are any possible or positive relationship between these two variables. Okay, let's go into practical scenario, and let's see how this two variables is behaving with our sample data set. Okay, this is my sample data set, sales information. In here you can see actually three columns: invoice date, sales and marketing expenses. Data available from 2010 up to 2019 April 30th. After that, May to December, sales information not available. Then we can take before, actually before 2019 April as historical information, and now after April we can take as the future information, sales not available. And in our scenario we are going to predict this sales information based on the marketing expenses allocation. Okay, let's first thing that we need to import this information into Jupyter Notebooks. I'm going to use Jupyter Notebooks software or the tool to do this testing. Now in this case we need these libraries, actually pandas, numpy for the calculations, matplotlib for the data visualization, and here you can see the sklearn, the scikit-learn, actually related for the linear, to implement the linear regression model. And the first thing we need to do is that we need to import information from this location. Now in my source available in desktop, this folder, and let's execute that part. Okay, now you can see invoice date, sales and marketing, and here you can see after April 30th we don't have sales information, and before 2019 May we can take it as historical information. And here I implement that logic to separate out historical information using that sales not equal to 0, and let's execute that one. And after that I'm going to insert that, actually I inserted that information into actual DF data frame, and after that I have to split these two variables, sales and marketing, because these two are the variables for our linear regression. Sales is the predictive variable, marketing expense is the dependent variable, and like XY axis variable. And then after that we need to do split data split to do the testing, because we need to find out whether there are any relationship between this X and Y variable, sales and marketing. To do that we can use historical information to train the linear regression model, and then we can use historical information to test it to get the accuracy of the model. Okay, to do it we need to do the split part. Let's execute that one, and this part is to implement the linear regression model. Now you can see the regressor, linear regression, using the scikit-learn libraries, and then we pass X train and Y train. Here we split the data set, the X and Y variable, into train and test, and we implement train and X train and Y train using test size 0.2, and here we use, after we train the model, we use that model to check the accuracy of our model. Okay, let's execute this part. Okay, let's check the accuracy of this model. Now you can see it's 20,931 for this intercept, and the regression coefficient value is 21.25. Now what are the meaning of these intercepts and coefficient? Let's take our sample data set. Now you can see our sales actually there are between 100,000 and, yes, can see some less value also, 88,000 something. Now it's this intercept giving the actually expected mean of the y when x is 0. Start with a regression equation with one predictor. X is, if x sometimes equal to 0, the intercept is simply the expected mean value of y. Here we can have 20,931 for that one, and also we have that other variable, or the other output is the coefficient. Actually it indicates the direction of the relationship between predictor variable and the response variable. A positive sign indicates that as the predictive variable increase, then the response variable also increase. Now we have a positive value, that means we can say that our test accuracy is pretty much good. But let's visualize it to get good understanding. To do that we can use this method using matplotlib library data visualization. Okay, let's execute that one. Yeah, we can see that our two variables here, marketing expenses, right, and then the y-axis the sales. Now once we increase the x-axis, this marketing expenses, you can see this line is going up, right? That means in our two variables with the data set, we can say there's a positive relationship between two variable x and y, the sales and marketing expenses. Okay, now we can assure that our model, the data set and the model pretty much actually is good, it has good accuracy. Now with our sample database set, now I said that after 2019 April we don't have sales. Now we have to predict the sales based on the marketing expenses. Now we have allocated or the budgeted marketing expenses, and after April it's future, and we need to decide what is the best marketing expense or the value that can give outcome or the return of good sales growth. That means we can now, for example, let's take this one. Now it's May 31st, right? Now to have a good sales growth, now previously we have 800,000 or something, 880,000. Now to have 200,000 something, now we have allocated by 975 value. Now if we allocate another 1,000, that means 5,975 for this value. Can we get that one? That's what we are going to do here. Now we already train a model. Now model know if we increase marketing expenses value based on the historical information, it will do the prediction. Okay, let's see how to do it. To do it, we need to actually we have to execute this step. I will execute this step. Now we can see marketing expenses, there is a range. Now we are starting from 0 and then 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, like that way. Now if we take this data set and we will do what to increase this allocated marketing expense by 1,000, 2,000, like that way, and we can get what is the prediction, sales prediction for that increase. Okay, to do that, now we have marketing expenses range set data set, and for that we have to separate out the budgeted or the future data set. That means this part. Now here I use the sales equal to 0, the future information into this budgeted DF data frame, and I also generate the data frame here. And to merge those two, the actually Cartesian product, that means to each record, for each record I need to set thousands, like 1000 to 15,000 rows in new allocated marketing expenses for each row. To do that, I need to use this cross join or the Cartesian product function. It's a implemented one, pre-implemented one. Now let's execute that one, and then we can do cross join. Oh, it said the budgeted DF not defined. That means I didn't execute this part. Okay, let's execute this one. Okay, now we can see sales equal to 0. All the information actually related to future. Now let's do the cross join. In the first time you will get this kind of warning message, and let's take this part, execute the new data frame. Now here you can see marketing expenses according to our data set. Now this record, May 2019, and 409,075 allocated or budgeted marketing expenses, and we set the range. Now we can predict the sales with budgeted marketing expenses. If we increase by 1000, what will happen? If we increase by 2000, what is the sales growth or sales? How much we can get, like that. Now we are going to do the testing or do the prediction based on this data set. Now to do that, I need to do some certain operations. Now here you can see that this data set, and I'm going to separate out the marketing expenses and this Y. There is the allocated amount and the increasing amount. Now here I renamed and I added the new column called adjusted marketing expenses based on X and Y. That means the budgeted one and the range. Then I can get the new adjusted marketing expenses, and also here I do some certain operation to rename those columns. Okay, let's execute this part. Okay, now you can see the for May 31st we have the budgeted marketing of 4,975 and the expense range 0 and the total of these two columns. Right, now we are going to pass this marketing expenses into our trained model. Now here you can see regressor. We go back, this is the place that we implement the linear regression model, and this is the regressor, the method. Now we are going to call that method the method's prediction method using this adjusted marketing expenses. Okay, let's execute that part. Done. Okay, now we can see if in May we have allocated marketing expenses for 4,975. If that amount, we will get 2600 thousand value. If we increase by 1000, we will get 147,923 sales. Like that way we can see the sales prediction. Okay, now we completed our data machine learning model. Now let's see how to implement the same thing on Power BI. Okay, let's try to implement the same model on Power BI. To do that, we need to open the Power BI desktop. You need to install Power BI desktop on your machine, and let's open new one. Okay, once you open a new window, Power BI desktop, here we can have this option, get data option, and there we can select multiple sources, Excel, Power BI dataset, like that way. We have to select more, and there is other options, get data. There you can see Python script, this component, right? Now we are going to use the Python script, the script that we used in the Jupyter notebooks, and I'm going to copy paste that one into this section. Okay, let's run it. Okay, you can type that same script, you can copy paste that one. Actually, I did some modification here. I removed some unnecessary libraries, and also I removed this selection from data frames from this code, because those things are not unnecessary. And also I removed the visualization part from this code, because we are not going to do the visualization using Python matplotlib here, because we are going to use Power BI visualization to do the reporting part. Okay, let's click OK. Now, as again, I will mention that I can mention that we use the same code here with few modifications, removing the data frame selection and unnecessary libraries like matplotlib, because here we are not going to use Python data visualization libraries. Okay, just click OK. Then it will connect, and it will do the same process. It will import information into the Power BI, and then it will train the model, and then it will generate data sets. Now these are the data frames actually we created in our script, and from there we need only the final thing, the prediction data set. You can see invoice date, budgeted expenses, marketing expenses, adjusted marketing expenses, predicted sales. Just load that information into Power BI. Okay, and then what we can do is we can check the information. You can see the invoice date, budgeted marketing expenses range. Now here we actually, you can see that's 4,975 here, and after adding 1,000 amount, what is the value, what is the prediction value, like that way. And to do the visualization, we need to add calendar. Just go to the modeling part and create a new table, and let's take this table as date and calendar. Let's set 2009-002 to next year 2020. Okay, now we can mark our this date table as date table. Sorry, we can mark this table as date table. Okay, it's done, and we need to get this range, because we are going to filter this dataset using the marketing expenses range. To do it, we need to go to edit queries. There are several ways to do it, but you can hard code, or you can create a new table and hard code values. I'm going to use this column, and I'm going to distinct that one. To it, I will copy paste this one, and I will remove other columns, and I will remove duplicates. Now we can see the unique range values here. Just close and apply. Okay, go here. Now we can see the relationships. We can create relationship here. Now we have the prediction 2 and prediction. There are link between the ranges, and also we can create a link between the date and the invoice date here. Okay, and can change the format. Yes, that's done. And let's check the date. Here you can change the date time like this way. Okay, and just you can drag and drop a chart, and then you can here you can change the name as marketing expenses range, and we can set it as a filter. Okay, and we can select drop down, and we can select how much we need to increase the marketing expenses, and then let's select this chart, prediction sales prediction. Wait, let's add new columns for date table like month. And another column for year month. Format. Let's take YYY-MM short name of the month, and let's sort by month. Okay, let's save it as sales prediction. Okay, then we can add this one. Okay, you can see, and here you can see the prediction sale, and also we can set adjusted marketing expenses, like let's put into the column line series. Right, now we can see in zero level you can see it's 4,975, and the sales is this amount, 1,261. Let's increase it by 300. Now you can see my marketing expense went up to 7,000, and the sales went from 26,000 to 190,000. Like now this is our prediction value, prediction sales information. Okay, let's do some add some visualization. This is the completed report using Power BI machine learning model. Here you can see the chart that explain predicted sales versus budgeted marketing expenses. Now I will set it for 0. Now this is the initial information, predicted sales prediction, when we go with allocated budget for this period. Now in our scenario, in our data set, from May onwards, we don't have sales. Actually we can say it's a future, and we have budgeted allocated marketing expenses with that amount. What is the sales prediction? You can see here. Now if I increase that amount by 1,000, you can see these bars get changed, right? There are increase and also decrease. Now let's set for 0, and here you can see another visual, a table that I added to explain this in details. And here you can see year month I added in calendar dimension or the date dimension, year month. And now you can see year month and budgeted expenses. This is the initial budgeted allocation for this month, and ADJ marketing expenses, that is adjustment to allocated marketing expenses. If I increase by, let's say, increase by 1000, you can see it increased by 1000, right? If I increase by 2000, you can see the values are getting changed. And after that, you can see sales with budgeted ME marketing expenses. That means with the allocated budgeted expenses, if we go with it, what is the sales prediction for these months? Now you can see first month you can have 126,000 value sales, and also if I increase by 1000, you can see the value not getting changed, but the predicted sales column getting changed. Now to do it, I use some calculation, a measure. Now here you can see calculate some predicted sales, and here I filter marketing expenses range not equal to 0, sorry, no, equal to 0. Now that means here always it show the sales prediction without with allocated marketing expenses. Once we change this one, this marketing expenses, it will not get changed. It will always show the initial sales prediction for the allocated budget. And now let's go and change it to 2000. Yes, it's getting changed, right? You can see. Now let's move that filter to 2000. You can see now for this month our allocated budget is 4975, and it increased by 5975. Then this is the initial sales prediction for this amount, and you can see this is the predicted sales with allocated plus increased amount. Now it's 147,923 is the predicted sale for this adjusted marketing expenses. Actually growth is 16%, 78%. Now if we increase by 5000, you can see the sales growth go high. Actually it's close to 100 and above 100 also. Now in this case, focusing on one variable is not enough to do a accurate prediction. This is to explain how to build a simple sales prediction model on Power BI using Python, but in real world we have to consider on other dependent variables, like for example seasonality, and then the product price, and the other. Now here we focus on marketing. Actually it's a core factor to increase the sales growth, but there are a lot of other factors also we have to consider as well. I think my message is to give a good explanation to start machine learning with Power BI using Python. I think that you can understand easily, and you can start this one and as a example, and you can start and you can build more accurate predictive models. Okay, this is the end of this tutorial or the video, and I think you get a good knowledge from this one. Let's look at the summary of this video. Okay, this is the summary of this video, and here you can learn about what is the prediction, and here I explain how to do the prediction using market expenses versus sales scenario, and with the linear, and you get to know about linear regression, but I didn't explain much about it because there are a lot of tutorials and examples available in the internet, and you can get knowledge about it. And here my main goal is to implement a linear regression using Python, especially with the sklearn, scikit-learn, and visualization with matplotlib library. How to use, and also another point is how to use Python script as a data source in Power BI and implement a simple machine learning model. And also we did good visualization with predictive data, And I think this will help you to understand and implement simple predictive model on Power BI, uh, and it will help, uh, it will give you a good understanding about how to implement that kind of predictive model. Okay, this is the end of this session. Thank you very much watching this video. uh, Thank you very much.